Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Let me start off by thanking once again our new sponsor for the show, Miskatonic Books, and I really recommend that you check Miskatonic Books out directly on social media because they regularly post very interesting updates on the new books that they have available, and you'll be able to find all of their good stuff directly on their front page. For instance, Azoetia, which is available through them for just $550, which I know probably seems like a huge amount of money, but Azoetia is one of the rarest, most sought after occult books in the world, and to find it at such a cheap price is actually quite surprising. But as I was telling you last week, that's not all they do. They don't only do rare books, they also do new books, new releases. For example, Holy Heretics, which is available for $79. And of course, if you're in the US, you'll know that getting books sent over from publishers such as Scarlet Imprint from the UK can be very expensive, and so they actually make the shipping affordable for people based in North America. So that's really nice. And of course, they've just got all the best books currently available, whether they are in print or very often not in print as well. So a fantastic resource. Thank you once again, Miskatonic Books, for sponsoring the show. And we're actually starting off with a particular release through Miskatonic Books, which was Ingenium. I don't know if you managed to catch the interview that I did with Friedrich just a couple of days ago. My goodness, it feels so long ago now. But actually, that video was published on Saturday evening, and you'll be able to hear a little bit about what's in this absolutely gorgeous book. It's currently sold out. The deluxe edition is sold out at Miskatonic Books. It's sold out on the first evening, from what I understand. It went very fast. However, if I understand correctly, some of the books will be going to Courtyard Books in the UK, and Courtyard Books will not actually make the listing available until they have received the books themselves. Friedrich is keeping the books in his temple for a total of 10 days. I think we're about halfway through that period now, and so then he will send them from Germany to the UK, and as soon as Courtyard Books receive them, they will list them, and you can purchase the remaining 30 or so, I think, something along those lines, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I can't remember exactly what the numbers are, but yeah, so that's really nice. However, the standard hardcover is now available directly through Amazon. .com.co.uk. I'll leave the links down below in the description as always. But yeah, have a look. There's the hardcover there and the paperback edition, and this beautiful cover with the art by Joseph Uccello, which looks absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's ready to go. It's all available now. Moving on to, oh my goodness, news, Manly P. Hall news. The Secret Teachings of All Ages got 2 new editions this week. After going for such a long time, looking for a nice edition of the Secret Teachings of All Ages for the past 5 years, I've been searching for something kind of affordable, at least something at retail prices. 500 euros is a lot of money. I certainly realize that. That's there's no question. However, it is baby sumo size. Have a look at the dimensions here. It's almost half a meter, right? 47 centimeters. I don't have any books that are that big. Absolutely gigantic. So it's the size of the original Secret Teachings of All Ages, right? It's a direct facsimile with the quality of Taschen books. So you can see this beautiful slip cover. hardcover, lots of lovely pictures to have a look through. But not only that, there's a companion book that comes with it, and some prints, 4 selected prints that are all together in this lovely slipcase. Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? So really, really cool. So you can see, yeah, they've really made a big effort to clean everything up and make everything look really crisp and fresh. Really, really nice. Of course, the original version was through the PRS and the Philosophical Research Society. There we go. And the original large size is still out of print, although from what I understand they are planning a re-release soon. Okay, I don't know what the price is going to be. However, they released just this week this reduced size hardcover. I mean, I say reduced size, it's still 13 inches, which is 33 centimeters. You know, that is larger than many books that I own. You know, that 33 centimeters is yeah, it's big. It's I'm not quite sure how large my red book is, my Liber Novus by Carl Jung, but it can't be that much larger than 33 centimeters. This is a big book, but it's nevertheless smaller than the original and therefore a little bit more wieldy, and a fifth of the price. However, I will warn you that if you're not based in North America, the shipping on this is criminal. I've gone ahead and bought this one $95 for shipping. That really was a bit of a killer, you know. However, I've been waiting for this book for as I say, for about 5 years now. So I've jumped on the opportunity, and it's the right size for me. I don't have space for the original sized one, of course. Although, of course, it is the original one and the one that most people will be wanting. This is just right for me. Yeah. $95 shipping. I reached out to Watkins Books. They said that they are interested. They weren't aware of this at the time that I'd contacted them, and they said that things are a little bit busy for them at the moment, but it's not impossible that they will be getting stock in the future. So keep your eyes out, your eyes out, your eyes peeled. Let's go with that phrase, and yeah, maybe some, because it's such a popular book, right? I can't imagine some retailers in the UK and maybe in Europe as well also offering this. It would certainly do very well if they did. And then alongside this is not one that I personally got, but it certainly caught my attention, is the study guide to the secret teachings of all ages, based upon the introduction to an encyclopedic outline of symbolical philosophy. So it's a workbook, basically, a study guide, which sounds really cool to me. You can have a closer look at the table of contents there, it seems like if you've got the pocket for it, it seems like a nice little addition to add to your parcel if you're buying that reduced sized version. Moving on to news from Hagia Press, their latest guide to the underworld is now available. Stoking the Witchfire, Yoga Cultivation for Sorcerers. It sounds like a I mean, what a title, right? All the blurb is all down here. You can have a closer look, and you can buy it directly through Hagia Press as a paperback, as a small pamphlet paperback, or you can buy it as an EPUB, like an ebook, digital edition, directly through them as well. Let's move on to news from Peter Mark Adams. Now, I spoke about this last week, but the websites weren't loading. Well, this week Peter Mark Adams has actually released this tantalizing image on Facebook. Hagia Sophia, Sanctum of Kronos. The pre-orders will open on the 21st of December. And yeah, this is one of my most anticipated books that still have yet to be released. I'm very, very excited about anything that Peter Mark Adams releases, and this happens to be a topic that is very close to my heart. If you'd like to know a little bit more about the topic of the book, then I recommend checking out his website, petermarkadams.com. I'll leave links down below, of course, and there's a short blurb over here. I'm guessing that we'll get more and more information as we get closer and closer to the pre-release on that 21st of December. Looking forward to that. Okay. Atramentus Press have announced their upcoming pre-release. So it's not pre-release yet, so it's like a preview of a pre-release once again. Friedrich, Nietzsche and the Left-Hand Path. Not of particular interest to me, but I know that so many of you watching really appreciate Friedrich Nietzsche and the Left-Hand Path as well. So yeah, you'll certainly want to be checking this one out. It's through Atramentus Press, so you know that the quality is going to be through the roof, the quality of the presentation, but also the quality of the content. Yeah, I think this is going to be very, very exciting for many, many people. Links down below to this whole newsletter, in which you can find out a little bit more about what's going to be coming along in this book. Some very beautiful illustrations. I was searching. I'm wondering if maybe Daniel Yates has been involved here, but I can't be sure, I'm afraid. Daniel, if you're watching, let us know who these illustrations are by. The next bit of news is that the Rituale Corvorum is now available. It's kind of interesting. I bought the Holy Books of the OTO at Watkins last time I was visiting. So, yeah, it was last year. Last year, was it actually the time before that I bought them? Anyway, beautiful, beautiful leather. Mass quality, church quality book, and this one seems to be by the same publishers. I've not been able to find them anywhere else, but your resourcefulness may trump mine. Great to see this at Watkins, and just so this seems to be like an addition, another book in that same series, let's say. So Rituale Corvorum, containing the common ceremonial and codified conduct of cultic Crowleyanity. A lot of C's going on there. Official rituals and introductions to the Great White Brotherhood, presented in a format similar to a Catholic missal or a Protestant prayer book. It just looks very pretty from the outside. I'm sure that if anyone's watching who is interested in thelemic orders, then they'll probably want to take a closer look at this. And staying with news from Watkins Books, they very recently announced that they're going to be doing a regular newsletter talking about the contents of their antiquarian cabinet, which is really, really cool. They've got some great rare books in there, which don't always get the attention that they deserve, So having them in a regular newsletter, I think that's a really good idea. I think a lot of people will be interested in that. In the same way as, for example, Wise Antiquarian do that regular newsletter, right? Don't they? With all their new antiquities coming in, and so this will be an equivalent based in the UK. So very, very exciting news there. And in order to receive that newsletter, you have to go to their website, scroll down to the bottom as I've just done, and just enter your email over here. Subscribe, and you'll be on their mailing list so that you can receive those details. Okay, a couple of bits that caught my attention on Amazon this week. First of all, Metaphysical Africa, Truth and Blackness in the Ansaru Allah Community, Africana Religions. As I say every time I feature anything on Africana, I'm delighted to see stuff that's accessible and available because I don't often see material on African traditions in English, right? However, this one looks really interesting. It's published through PSU, right? Penn State University Press, and I think that if you're interested in traditional African religions and traditions, you will be interested in reading this little blurb over here. So it's a look into this particular community, the Ansaru Allah. You'll know if that's of interest to you or not. Links down below, as always. The Ignota Diary of 2023, I mentioned it earlier in the year, actually, when it was first released, but we're coming close to the new year, and it seems like there are still some copies available, which is quite rare. Usually in the previous years, they very often run out by this time. So yeah, get your copies while they're still available if you haven't done so already. If you don't know, the Ignota Diary is it's a lovely little paperback diary, but every page has got information that is useful for the magic practitioner. It is specifically targeted at the magic practitioner, and it features work and recommendations and essays by really well recognized and well respected scholars and practitioners in the field, the kind of people that I feature regularly on this channel, right? I believe that there is there's an article by Susan Chang this year, and many others. I'm afraid I can't remember them all, but yeah, it looks great as usual. And then An Accidental Christ is getting a new edition. Lon Milo Duquette's, I think it was his first book. It certainly one of his first books. He wrote this. Let's say this you can't call it a novelization of the life of Brian, but it is his equivalent of the life of Brian, right? So it's a novel that he's written from the perspective of Jesus's uncle, designed to at least trigger thoughts about how it was put quite beautifully here. Immerses you in a thought-provoking story that offers a plausible case for how distorted the Jesus myth may have become. And that sounds really nice. And coming from Lon Milo Duquette, you can be certain that it's going to be full of great humor, but also at the same time fantastic insight. It's just what he does, isn't it? Okay, let's move on. 50% off at Quest Books. Any fans of Ken Wilber's out there will appreciate this. Ken Wilber being one of the foremost philosophers of the 20th century, who has, and 21st, I suppose, as well, right? Who has combined his understanding of Western and Eastern mysticism with psychology, with his understanding of psychology, with his understanding of the physiological aspects of the brain and things like this. I've read a couple of his books. Every time I've been just blown away by how interesting his material is. I imagine most of you out there probably have heard of him. You can see a review here saying that Wilber might likely do for consciousness what Freud did for psychology, and I certainly wouldn't be surprised. But yes, anyway, 50% off throughout the entire website. If you have a look at books there, you'll be able to get a little idea of what kinds of books they sell, what kind of books they have. A lot of theosophical material and a lot of East meets West kind of material. Very, very cool, and with a scientific approach. Very, very nice stuff. All right. Now, this is the thing that's really made me dream this week. It's the work of Daniel Yates through Photophrenic. Urania's, I guess it's Urania's Mirror limited edition sets pre-order. Now, that's quite a high price point, as you can see. This is a deck of 32 cards, I believe, showing different constellations. However, Daniel is hand punching them. These cards were released in 1825, if I remember correctly. 1824, excuse me. There we go. And each star that belonged to the constellation that's being shown had a little puncture, had a little hole, so you could hold them up to the light and see the actual constellation. I've been doing a little bit of research and so on and so forth, and Daniel is basically hand making these cards. The images themselves are easy to find. You can do a quick search on Wikipedia, and you'll find all of the images themselves. However, these cards will be made to Daniel Yates's standards, and as I say, hand punctured. Each one of them, he's making 12 sets, so he's going to be 12 sets of 32 cards. I guess that's probably a good few days per set of work going on there, let alone the work of actually making the cards available, right, to actually making these images suitable for printing and so on and so forth. So I think $200 is probably about right, if not even cheap, right, for the kind of work that's going into these. But that's not all. He posted a picture of so with each deck, he is going to be sending a slate engraving, and he shared with us on the Discord a picture of the Ursus Major, the big bear, right? That he made, and just as an example of the kinds of what they're going to kind of look like, you can have a look at his offering down here, and you'll see that the Taurus set is sold as already, the Scorpio set is sold, and the Ophiuchus set is sold. However, the remaining here are still available, and depending on the sets you're getting, of course, you'll get the slate engraving that goes with that sign. Very, very nice initiative. I think that's really, really beautiful. All right, news from Josephine McCarthy. I've been talking about this Mystagogus deck of cards for a little while now because I'm so excited about them. I've had my order in for quite a while, and she's received the first deck, right? The kind of prototype deck for checking if everything is fine, and she's written this really fascinating little essay here about the process of what she's been doing with this deck and so on. But we can see a little preview of what the box is going to look like, which is really cool. A two-part box, which is lovely, and she's saying that she's been doing some readings with it, and it's quite quite a frank deck. It's quite straight to the point, and she says that it tells you the truth in a very direct way, and then offers you a chocolate as a consolation, which I thought was very sweet. I thought that was really nice. But she says that it works in a very, very smooth way, even more smoothly. She says even more smoothly than her previous deck, the Magician's deck that she did directly for Quarea, right? So yeah, details on where to purchase that directly through Quarea's website, which I'll post details for as usual. I've already posted in the past, but yeah, you can pre-order the deck over here and yeah, see if there are any of the images that are still available. Because she has been selling the paintings that these were based on, although most of them were just sold pretty much immediately. I don't see any that are still for sale. Yeah, they've all gone. Still, if you like those images, and you know what's not to like, you can actually buy them now as prints directly through Redbubble. Now, you'll see that the word "from" here, that's because I believe they're available as stickers, but they're also available as posters. So if I just click on one of them over here, you should be able to see underneath what this particular picture is available as. Some of them are only available as posters and as stickers, but some of them are available as other things as well. For example, I can't remember. I think if I open this, I love this Phanos so much. It's such a beautiful image. But yes, this one, you see, it's available as an iPhone soft case and also as a pet blanket. So yeah, depending on the image, Josephine has thought to herself, okay, what could be the magical uses of this image, and made available the products that may seem appropriate for that. But yeah, let's have a look at the different sizes of the posters. You can buy them in small, medium, or large, and again the finish is semi-gloss. There we are, and you can see the prices for the different sizes up on the side here. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that just something very, very special? Yep. Okay, so this is a shop that was pointed out to me by, I can't remember, was it Istvan? I can't remember. I'm so sorry. Whoever pointed this one out to me, it was someone who is currently taking Jack Grail's Hail Hecate course, and apparently last week they shared their the small business links, and this one was particularly appreciated by some of the people who are taking that course, and I can certainly see why. So if you're into the poison path specifically, this is going to be of great interest to you. Some great materia, you know. They are, however, only shipping to the US and to Canada. They're not shipping to anywhere else. So this really is one that is exclusively for our North American friends. You can see some very interesting stuff here. Some candles, some witch bottles, some extracts of various plants and mushrooms, and some books. Some really, really great books. So this Magic Circles, I can recommend this one by William Kiesel through Ouroboros Press. I've not seen it anywhere recently. I'm not sure it's still in print, but the information contained is of great value. Yeah, well, just a little thought there. And of course, they're selling Fiddler's Green and other stuff. Take a look. I think they had some smoking mixes as well, some smoking blends. There we go. So yeah, interesting stuff. Crow and Belladonna Rosary. Very lovely. And finally, David Haim Smith is doing a 50% discount. Now, that has not started at the time that I'm recording, although let me just refresh my page, because he did say that was supposed to start at some point today, but Yeah, I can't see that discount quite yet. It's supposed to start at the time that I'm recording, which is on Thursday, 8th of December. I know most of you are going to be watching this on Friday, 9th of December, but any members watching this one day before everyone else, any Foolish Fish YouTube members or Patreon members watching this a little bit early, take a look. It might have started already. It's supposed to kick in at some point today. Today as in Thursday. So anyone watching on Friday, it's definitely already going ahead. This is a series of 4 videos. You can see the first one is 2 hours and 33 minutes. The second one's just a little over 2 hours. And again, 2 hours and 41 minutes. So David Hyde Smith is talking about esoteric cartography. It's fascinating and it's approachable, and it's probably his most accessible material to date. There is going to be another course coming up, which David has teased, but I'll tell you more about that when we're a little bit closer to the time when David wants to actually talk about it to the whole world, when he's actually ready with the videos, when he's finished recording them, which I think could be next week, maybe the week after. But yeah, some very, very exciting stuff going on there. That's it from me for this week, folks. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'm really, really delighted that so many of you are enjoying my news videos. If you would like to support the channel, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. That really helps me. And to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and ring that little bell button, because so many people subscribe to my channel but then never get to see any more of my videos because they didn't click on the bell, and so YouTube think that you're not really interested, which may be the case, but if you would like to see my videos, do make sure you click on that bell button and then click on all to actually get to see the videos that I put out. And then if you would like to support the channel further, of course there's the Patreon that I was talking about earlier, and then the YouTube memberships. Patreon and YouTube memberships really offer very similar perks. Patreon tends to offer me a larger cut, right? YouTube tend to take a little bit more as a middleman. Just a little information out there if that makes any difference to you. And then finally, if you would like a consultation with me, I read the tarot, I do I Ching readings, but probably most importantly, I do just general consultations where you can just ask me any question that you think I may have a pertinent answer to, and I'll do my best to answer and give you some some perspective from my own life experience, and maybe from the books that I've read, and can possibly recommend some books specifically for you, depending on what you share with me, and so on and so forth. I've been having a lot of fun chatting with viewers from all over the world over the past few weeks, and it's been going really, really well. I've had a lot of fun, and I think that the people who've been calling in have been having a lot of fun. And if you would like to book a session with me, then the details on how to do that are in the pinned comment and also in the description. So all of that is there for you. Thank you so much once again for watching. Thank you, Miskatonic Books, for sponsoring the video. And I'll see you very soon with another video. Take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye-bye.